I'm blessed with a lot of smart people in this audience. I have this text line that I really appreciate. MyPillow sponsors it. And I walked into the studio, and I always glance at it. In fact, a little fun fact, I have access to the text line even when I'm not doing the show and I'm at home. And a lot of people text all day and all into the evening. And sometimes I'll look at the text line when something's happening at night when I'm not in this studio. Listen to these two smart comments I just got as I walked into the studio today. From Florida. Surely Joe Biden's team is aware of all the rumors and allegations that he is either seriously ill or dead. How hard would it be for Biden to dispel the rumors with a quick video? The use of AI audio to mimic speech is already well in use. And how about this comment from Nebraska that's even more prescient, even more relevant, even more important? Joe Biden owes the American people a statement of why he quit and left this mess. At least face the nation like a man, like a normal president would do, stating his reasons for quitting. Signed, a voter. What a powerful, plaintive message that is. Can you tell me right now why Joe Biden dropped out of the race? We don't know. You think the media is going to ask? Let me give you an example of the media. I made this CNN, MSNBC ban, but I got to lift it occasionally. So this is going to be the most poorly enforced ban in the history of broadcasting. Because you got to hear this. This is what we're going to be in for between now and Election Day. Check out this CNN reporter talking to Kamala Harris, who evidently now has all the delegates locked up. She's in. It's going to be Kamala. Here's the way CNN handles the vice president.
Let me ask you one more question. I'm struck just in your presence. I was watching you on stage, watching the reactions from the crowd, looking you in the eye with your passion that you were displaying and talking about so many issues. And yet you hear candidates suggesting that a vote for President Biden because of his age is somehow a vote for you, and that is hurled as an insult. It's intended to demonstrate some negative viewpoint towards you. What is your reaction to this thought that with your background in particular, with your career, that there is some thought that you are incapable?
And incidentally, her answer doesn't even matter. Who cares what she's going to say to that sycophant? Watching the video of Kamala looking lovingly at the CNN reporter who said, "I'm struck in your presence as the crowd made eye contact with you and you made eye contact with them. I'm struck." That's journalism over at CNN. It's sickening. It makes you physically sick to your stomach. That pathetic reporter doesn't have a shred of dignity and would absolutely ask that kind of a fawning, preening question of the woman who is now the presumed Democrat nominee. I get ready. But incidentally, I love this text. Again, I want to go back to it from Nebraska. That Biden at least owes us an explanation. And doesn't somebody? Biden called in to Kamala Harris yesterday. She made a campaign stop in Wilmington, Delaware. They've already got the step and repeat up that says Kamala in the background. That they didn't, boy, this has been quick. Already got the delegates locked up. She's all set to go. She stumbled a little bit as Biden, with his raspy voice, but it wasn't too raspy. He was pretty coherent. Some would argue more coherent than normal. Listen to what she nearly said in talking to this disembodied voice like the Wizard of Oz when Dorothy and the Scarecrow and the Cowardly Lion first got into I am Oz. You just heard the voice, and you don't even see the face of Joe Biden. You just hear the disembodied voice, and more nausea. It was sickening. It was disgusting. I love you. No, I love you. But more than a few people are wondering if this was even Joe Biden's voice live.
What about the big lie and the biggest liar in terms of covering up and lying about Joe's cognitive
wrong clip.
state?
Sorry,
Charlie
guys,
Hurt.
my bad. I thought it was 5. The 4. Cut 4. Push the wrong button. Number 4.
It's mutual.
I knew you were still there. You're not going anywhere, Joe.
I'm watching you, kid. I'm watching you, kid. I love you.
I love you, Joe.
And she holds her hand to her heart. Oh, I love you. She's the one that helped push him out. She pushed him off the cliff. Oh, I love you, Joe. You're so tender. There's nothing left. The guy's mean, and he's furious, and he's bitter. But we still don't know why he's out. If on the one hand he's out because of the polls, that's one of the most dastardly, craven political maneuvers we've ever experienced, where all the Democrat primary voters have been disrespected and ignored because they don't like the polling data. I mean, polling data pushed him out? On the other hand, if he's really sick, if he's seriously ill, the American people deserve an explanation. This is wild. So I started this yesterday. I'm going to continue it a little bit today. Can you tell me why he's out? Can you give me a definitive explanation as to why Joe Biden dropped out on Sunday afternoon via social media? Nothing about this makes sense. And we got a lot of things to cover today, because the other thing that doesn't make sense is the explanation from the U.S. Secret Service director yesterday in testimony on Capitol Hill that they knew there was a man posing a threat to President Trump on a roof prior to the speech, and they still let President Trump go out there and speak. I have to say it, and I'm probably going to infuriate people. I don't care. There can be only one conclusion, and you know what it is. They wanted to get him killed. There can only be, what other explanation could there be? If, God forbid, Donald Trump was assassinated in Butler, Pennsylvania, and we learned that they knew there was a guy on the roof with a gun minutes before they let Trump walk out onto that stage, what other conclusion would you reach? 1-800-655-MIKE, 800-655-6453. I hope you join us.
Mike Gallagher.
Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically, that's wrong.
Yep, that's the Democrat nominee for president, ladies and gentlemen, Kamala Harris. If there was ever a bigger dummy who ran, I'd like to know who it is. You'd like to believe that presidential candidates have some degree of smarts, some degree of sophistication. Not this one. No. And forget her idiocy. She is a radical San Francisco Democrat to the left of Bernie Sanders, and her voting record confirms that. That's not a empty charge. So this is what we've got. Here's a text message on the MyPillow text line from the upstate of South Carolina. Thank you, Mike, for someone finally saying out loud what I've been saying from the start. They wanted Trump assassinated. If it's true that the Secret Service had knowledge that there was a man, a sniper on the roof that posed a threat to Donald Trump, and they allowed, you understand, the Secret Service has a say in everywhere the president goes, or a former president, anybody they're guarding. anybody they're protecting. Now, he can reject their advice, but as he told Jesse Waters last night, I would have liked to have been told that there was a threat in that crowd. How about the family of Corey Compatore having to bury their father, their husband, knowing that the Secret Service apparently knew there was a suspicious person, people screaming in the crowd, he's got a gun, he's got a gun, before Trump went out onto that stage. It's sickening. This is a crisis and a catastrophe of epic proportions, one of the biggest scandals we've ever witnessed. And every day there's a new one. Every day there's a new scandal. Biden stepping out of the race is a scandal. Why is he out? Polling data? Is Joe Biden going to finally appear before the American people and say, yeah, the Gallup poll said that I didn't really have a chance to beat Trump in the swing states, so I'm stepping down to let... Oh, really? What about all those millions of people who voted for you, Mr. President, in the primaries? But democracy, Trump's going to destroy democracy. Well, nothing screams protecting democracy than performing a coup and having Biden removed without a single vote cast for Kamala Harris. She's already got the delegates. I guess it's going to go with her. I guess they're going to go with her, which is great, which is good for us. Let people get to know her. The people who already know her don't like her. And then when you get to know her, you won't like her. She is more radical than Bernie Sanders, and that's not exaggeration. She has the most radical voting record of just about any Democrat. She's a San Francisco radical. That's who this woman is. Not to mention she's a nincompoop, but that's secondary, I guess. And all they got is, oh, are you going to really criticize the black Asian female? I mean, she's got every box checked. I don't care who her boyfriend was 100 years ago. That doesn't matter. That to me is not germane. What counts is her policies, her ideology, and yes, her ignorance. She's a bad sitcom character. Now, again, I'm not a big conspiracy theorist. Yesterday, she shows up at the Biden campaign headquarters. They've already got the Kamala signs up. They got the step and repeat up behind her that says Kamala with the flags. And she's up there giggling and cackling, and they take a call supposedly from Joe Biden. But do you know what they can do with AI? When is Biden going to show up in public? Here was what Kamala said, and sharp-eared people caught this. Listen very closely as she starts to say recording instead of a live phone call with Joe Biden. Listen.
Our president's voice. Joe, I know you're still on the call.
Did you hear that? I know you're still on the record call. Hit it again, Christian.
Our president's voice. Joe, I know you're still on the call.
Oops. Did she slip? Was she talking to her, what she would say is a recording, which is actually a sophisticated AI deep fake?